everyone, and welcome to Applusify's webinar on Salesforce integration with LMS. This is Venu Deschetti, Director of Marketing and Sales at Applusify. It is a great pleasure to bring you educational content in the form of our webinar like this one today. We love to share what we know and have learned in our journey, and also like little something from you along the way. Before we begin, a little bit of housekeeping. Today's webinar will be recorded. We'll share with you the recording and the slides afterwards. There are resources we'll also send your way via email, things like blogs and articles that will help you. If you're watching this after the live session, you can find the resources listed on the webpage where you found this webinar. If you have any questions during the webinar, use the chat feature. We'll get to them as soon as we can. We also have a Q&A session at the end planned. If you have questions then, you can save them for then, or definitely don't feel shy and ask them when you have them. Definitely let us know what questions you have or if you'd like to share any information. Today, we have Rajiv Gupta with us. He's an experienced Salesforce developer who loves learning so much that his superpower is everything that is LMS. Rajiv leads our team of developers, making sure internally they share lessons learned and best practices on how best to serve our clients. In today's webinar, we'll discuss the benefits of an integration and then also Rajiv's 5 favorite features when you bring Salesforce and LMS together. So without much more delay, let's get started. Rajiv, welcome to this rainy Friday if you're in the DC area. How are you today?
Very good. Thank you, Venu, for hosting this webinar. I think it will add value to many of our audience and participants today.
So everyone, we're going to start off with a few questions, a few poll questions, so we can know who's joining us today, and we can cater the conversation definitely to who's here. So the first question is, what LMS do you currently use? So take a few seconds, fill that out. And while you're doing that, Rajiv, talk to us a little bit about how you're seeing different organizations use LMS. I know that a lot has changed with more people working remotely. What are you seeing some of the use case studies out there?
Let's look at historical use of learning management system. So when we talk about learning management system, generally there are 3 or 4 different variations that are popular among our clients, and you may think about learning management system from the employee training perspective. So larger organization, 500 employees, 1,000 employees, typically use a learning management system from the HR perspective, compliance for various regulatory needs. That's not very useful for nonprofits and associations. Associations and nonprofits usually look for opportunities to either improve the value of their association for the members, or sharing other benefits for the membership as a nonprofit. All falls under continuing education or non-dues revenues that they would like to generate. And the third category, which may be applicable to some, where there are affiliates, state associations, chapters, affiliated nonprofits, where partner education is important to ensure that the organization grows and takes benefit of the scale. And especially now in pandemic, everybody is working from home. Sometimes even collaboration becomes easier if there is training available in the form that is self-learning and available to disseminate information much more smoothly on the basis of just-in-time information, just-in-time learning, and just-in-time tracking of information.
That's great. As we're doing this poll, we've gotten a few responses back, and it seems like we've got a mixed group here of those who have integrated, have already done an integration or in the process of it, or even thinking about it. So I think you'll be able to touch on every step of the way of that journey for them. This next question that we're asking everyone is, how are they using their LMS? Exactly what you were talking about, different ways to use it. And it's interesting here. It's kind of a mixed bag again. We've got everything from education to internals and external uses.
Many organizations and nonprofit sometimes also here the winner is continuing education, but interchangeably we look at webinars and self-learning hand in hand. But there is a clear distinction between virtual learning, where we invite members to a webinar such as today's webinar and offer content in the form of live class. And the second most useful use that organizations have identified, where member or customer or any external user looks at the learning management system, they go in the platform at their own convenience and have the opportunity to get structured learning. And structured learning includes content, which may be multimedia videos, PDFs, other artifacts, which are resources. Then assessments that are combined with the resources available for them to participate as a practice, um, or to take exam for continuous education or continuing education credentials, or CEUs that some association in some trades would like to definitely have as part of the professional development goal. And the third benefit is assignments and a structure that allows organizations to improve learning. So all these variations just becomes confusing. And when you talk about integrating with the system such as Salesforce, it's even more difficult to integrate because you don't know where to integrate, what benefits are to be received and even think about. There is a proverb, you don't know what you don't know. And many different cultures and languages, they just work around that paradigm. And this webinar might demystify some of those challenges around learning management system and integration with Salesforce or another CRM.
Sure. It's again back to the polls. I'm curious, those of you that answered this last question in terms of what's your current AMS or CRM, those of you that answered other, if you feel comfortable, we'd love to hear which ones those are. If you could just put it down in the chat, we'd love to hear from you and just to see what that is. Also, if there is a use case that you're using your LMS for that we didn't ask the poll question for, and I can pop that one back up. Let's see here. This poll question in terms of how you're using your LMS, if you're using it in a way that we didn't ask, we'd love to hear from you on that as well. As some of you answered other, would love to know how you're using that. Maybe we can tailor the conversation to that as well. So without further ado, Rajiv, in terms of benefits with the organizations that we're working with, the associations and nonprofits, what are you seeing that they appreciate the most in terms of the integration?
There are several benefits, but most organizations, when they think about learning management system, the basic integration, which is only single sign-on, is what organizations think about. But that's just the beginning. It is about user experience. Ultimately, the benefits are around breaking the silos of data, ensuring there is integration between system of records and learning management system. So system of record generally is a CRM or another system, but Salesforce or organizations that are using Salesforce have the ability to use Salesforce as a as a system of records where all the data from multiple sources can be housed in one place, so there is a single source of truth. And the benefit of integration allows deeper analytics, making sure there is personalization of course content delivered to members and customers, making sure there is a way that the communication is targeted to all the members based on their needs and their current situation they are in. So if you were to summarize the benefits, they generally come under four categories: increase the revenue that the organization is looking to either capitalize on learning management system, offering courses that members and donors and constituents can purchase, or reduce the overall duplicative processes between various systems. So one example is if you house your contacts in Salesforce as well as in learning management system, a member that purchases a course through learning management system and they call the membership, look, I paid for the content and I have not received my course is not showing up. Now the membership has to look for coordinator, and learning coordinator is the only one who has the LMS access, or in some cases membership coordinator or membership customer support team. Membership support team may have access to learning management system, but the inefficiency in managing this data across different departments is can become tiresome and can reduce the overall experience that members are looking to get in this digital age where digital transformation and overall uh, experience that especially our millennial generation is looking to get is very different from the way it has been always. Another example is within the non-profits. I see that in our audience today there are some non-profits. Those are also member-based organization, but the mandate is slightly different compared to associations, and donor experience is different. If there are organizations that manage sub-organizations such as either they have affiliate uh, subdivisions such as state associations or their chapters across the US or globally. How do you communicate with such a large group and manage a database that is cohesively providing information? So take an example. Again, examples help us learn through this value. Association of certain trade is looking to partner with a chapter in Atlanta. And Atlanta does not have its own database. They house certain courses which are specific to Georgia's regulation on the trade. Now, main association, the headquarter, has a course base. Now, how do you partner together if there is no integration between the databases and system? The ideal situation would be that the Georgia subchapter or a chapter in Atlanta would be able to offer a course along with the directory of courses or coursework that's offered through headquarter to get value across the US. Those courses could be around HR issues, while the regulatory courses could be around compliance within the district compliance in Atlanta. And examples are many, but how do you collaborate without a proper integration? And integration allows collaboration, allows data visualization, allows analytics, which is one level deeper. It's a in the software terminology, you look at the data and then double click to see what are the details.
You know, Rajiv, let's jump into the conversation about what you want to show everybody with real-time analytics. I like what you said in terms of breaking down the silos of data, bringing it together and giving us greater visibility into into having any record, having a whole 360 view of a record, knowing who they are, how long they've been donors or members, how they've been engaged in the organization, and connecting that to the course information that's in the LMS and having that view all in one place. I like what you're about to show us in terms of how that can look like inside of Salesforce. Can you walk us through that a little?
Thank you, Vinu. Our audience, most of the participants today have said that they are looking for LMS and they are using LMS for continuing education. So this example talks about some of the popular analytics. Now, I'll walk through slowly so that you can see what is possible with an integration. Integration between Salesforce and learning management system allows you to look at your surveys. You can see the survey reports, which allows you to see how the members are really liking or not liking various courses or various topics within the courses. You can see if there is a course enrollment profile for specific courses across a section of your members, maybe retired members, which courses do they like so that you can cater to them better. You can look at course progress where you have membership data, but you have another silo is course progress. But how do you marry the two to get your course progress for your members in a specific geography? Because tomorrow you have a meeting and the CEO asked, can you give me a report of how our chapter and our members in, again, Georgia are doing? And if you had an integration, you should be able to get the course progress report specifically for members in Georgia who have paid and have bought membership. Another example of reporting is assessment performance. Your members in a specific sector, say you are a trade association or a professional association, and you would like to send a newsletter advising members to take a course on COVID specific changes in the trade or profession, and that course assessment, nobody has participated. But how do you figure out who to send that email? You could always send that email through learning management system, but at the same time, marketing department may be planning another campaign. But do you want to send 2 emails to your members on the same or related topic? The answer lies in an integration and analytics that allows you to reduce communication points, reduce the number of emails sent, reduce the number of iterations of the same content delivered to members in different forms. So all of us have seen thousands of emails which we do not have time to read, which we do not care about. So can we reduce the experience using integration so that the data is housing in one repository in Salesforce, and your marketing communication happens on the basis of data or analytics that you have within Salesforce itself?
So not only can the real-time analytics give you the data of what people are wanting or not wanting, but can help you give that predictive analysis of what their next step might be, better improve that marketing message that goes out. Because it's very much like when you're shopping online with an Amazon or a Target or any store that's saying, okay, you've been shopping for these things, and you're most likely going to be interested in these other items. Same thing with the course kind of application. If you're taking classes on, let's say, English 101, then the next progression would be kind of natural to go to 102. So you don't want to send someone that's already taken 101 another reminder to take class 101 because they've already taken that. So this real-time analytics and the data that you're able to get can tell you, okay, don't send that person the course they've already taken. Let's focus on what they should be taking, cater that message, definitely improve your open rates, your click-through rates, and hopefully also to revenue generation. Now, Rajiv, let's go to the next portion, which is bridging course data and membership details. Now, it's great to be able to have this all in one place. Can you show us an example of what that can look like in Salesforce?
Salesforce, the example of bridging the data, I think we can build on what we earlier talking about. Uh, in this particular case, course enrollment for retired members, since it's a continuation of the understanding. How do you get more details about the membership interest in various course artifacts? And course enrollment could be at the course level or at the level where there are chapters or modules within the course that you would like to see. If the retired members in this example, and these could be your premium members, these could be your technology members, whatever classification you would like this analytics to be, but bringing that data from your AMS or your CRM and correlating it with learning management system data is where the value comes in.
When you're working with groups on creating these dashboards and reports, how do you recommend, what do you recommend in terms of starting? Do we start with just creating all the reports possible and seeing what flushes out? Or is it good to kind of have a vision of what a department might need or what the senior leadership might want to see and then working backwards? Is there a method that you like to work with?
There are 2-3 methods. Then when our team goes in, we try to deploy. So one popular method is interviewing various departments to figure out what interest they will have with learning management system integration. And the easier way to ask that question is when we talk to marketing team, do you care about sending marketing communication around professional development? Will it help if we can provide a report that allows you to see enrollment improvement tied to campaigns that you sent last month? Will it help you get more ideas on what marketing can do? So another example will be, say, finance department. They would like to see what will be the revenue forecast based on a specific investment made in the content development. So they would like to see we spent $100,000 in last 3 months on new content. What is the revenue tied to that investment? Did it lead to some new revenue? Can we forecast, can that cost be recuperated? So integrating course data with the finance system allows that, and that can all happen within Salesforce. The third department, which is generally and always interested, is membership or donor data in nonprofits. Anybody who is managing members or external users of content, they would like to segment the data. They would like to see, does our communication or our courses improve our membership? Or do they sign up for more? Do our members see courses as a benefit to even subscribe for memberships for future years? And all that segmentation and data discussion leads to us getting more ideas on what the integration should look like. Again, if you recall, most organizations that start with us as a client, first thing we discover, everybody's only talking about Salesforce to learning management system single sign-on, and single sign-on is just not sufficient today because it does reduce one problem. It solves only one problem where login does not need to be managed in two systems. Some organizations have one or two canned reports coming in Salesforce, but most organizations do not have the type of value that can be brought in across the department, across the type of data that can be correlated, can be used to create cross-referencing analytics that can be used to add value to practically every department in the organization. So that the learning data, along with financial data, along with membership data, along with marketing data, can create a cohesive as well as a structured, personalized communication to members. And that is the only way to improve revenues. If I get email from a particular organization 5 times a day and 30 times a month along generic topics, very likely I'll put that in my spam box, or I am going to just not read that. But if I am today done with my course on, say, civil engineering 101, and I'm looking for additional information on project management, I should be receiving emails on project management specific to my trade, specific to what my interests are, and then I will continue to read and participate.
Rajiv, I love how this really shows that when you give examples, it's more engineering science related and mine are more arts related, but that's kind of part of the course of what we do. So I think it's great to be able to, you know, before this integration happens, it seems like everyone's doing VLOOKUPs, pivot tables, it's done all external of the system, and it takes time, right? It takes time to correct the data, pull the data, do the analytics, and then be able to present that. But now that if it's all under one roof, it decreases the amount of staff time that has to do that. And I can only imagine that everyone's got other things that the hundred of other things they would like to do than crunching data, if that can be all done for them in one system. Let's jump into poll results and CEUs. I know LMS systems are great for having all of these great features of, you know, seeing how people do for the credentialing, survey results, exam results, and all of that. Talk to us a little bit about what can be seen in Salesforce.
CEUs are one of the main reason, and if you look at every association, every type of profession provides for a way of improving value to society by continuously getting new credits. So everybody in medicine field does it, all the professions under different trades do it, HVAC, if somebody needs a training, and CEUs on electrical engineering. So, you know, this time I did include medicine in the example, but every trade has a way of professional credits. And Salesforce has the ability to host this data. And why it is important? Because every time a member look at their member portal, they should be able to see what all credits they have. And similarly, using those credits, marketing team should be able to send out a message that section of this membership should be talking and thinking about catching up on their CEUs for the year. And that available information can lead to improvement in your revenue forecasting. You can expect more people to buy courses when you reach out to them in November, specifically to only 50 such people who are not done with their 40 CEUs for the year. Now, all that data, if you see assessment performance, the course information, the CEUs within the membership, all that data is available in learning management system. Unless you bring that data through an integration with API and tie it with the contact records, or tie it with the person accounts, or tie it with your leads, however you manage your data in your CRM, and provide a single snapshot, single source of truth about the CEUs. Then it is available on the website. It will be available in your email communication. It will be available to membership support team, membership customer service team. Whenever somebody calls and they say, look, I do not have my transcript for last 3 years. Can you email? If it is in Salesforce, the CEUs, the membership support team say, "Oh, sure, let me email you all the credits and all the transactions we know, all the courses you took and all the CEUs you accumulated in the last 3 years. Would you like me to email or send you a report in the form of a letter or a snail mail? That will cost you $30, but email I can send in the next 30 minutes. That data is available in learning management system, but because of silos of data is not readily available in the contact record. So membership team generally says, I do not know, let me get back to you and talk to the learning team or professional development team and get back to you with the specifics.
What I think is great also with all of this is that in this day and age, with all of this data and all of this technology to us, we can really be smarter about the way we curate classes. We talked a lot about marketing, but even curation of classes, of saying, there's looking at what classes are getting high ratings or high enrollment and knowing maybe that's a great path to continue. But what about those courses that aren't doing so well? What's the issue? Is it the content? Is it the speaker, the instructor, or is it the way it's being messaged out? But at least now with all of this data, you're able to segment and figure out what the problem is and actually address it, as opposed to just keeping a whole laundry list of courses that people don't want to take, or look at your very popular course and see what makes them popular and replicate that success. Let's move on to this next part. We've been talking a lot about analytics, but this part, in terms of saving staff time, deduping our business processes and making sure that we're being efficient. I mean, I think it's now more than ever, with budgets being under great scrutiny, we're all trying to do even more with less, whether that's money or even staff. So we want to try to be more efficient with just with everything, and that includes technology. So with two systems working separately, it looks like there's a lot of duplicative processes. But you're going to talk to us now about when you bring them together. This is one way where we can save some time in Salesforce.
Thank you, Vinu. So every association or every member-based organization struggles with this idea of user management. So user management along with e-commerce, whereby there is always a possibility of an organization to create courses or sell courses through the learning management system. 99% of the learning management systems allow e-commerce. And that, I think, is where the problem is. The moment you start to use two e-commerce systems, so your memberships are being sold through Salesforce and your courses are being sold through learning management system, is where the data silos start to become. In this example, from the member portal itself, from your Salesforce or your website, one should be able to select and buy courses. And in this example, courses are around calculus being added to the shopping cart. And integration is the easiest way, where you could allow your main revenue driver, which is membership sales, whichever system you're using for managing transactions around membership sales or your donation collection, the same system should be used for course sales as well, so that transactions, data, and reporting is available in one single platform. And Salesforce is fully capable of doing so. The staff time is wasted if you have two different places where I need to look for a specific transaction, be it for month-end reconciliation of revenue, or it could be related to supporting your members around queries around their receipts. Some organizations allow for invoice payments through check payments. That if you have two systems, the checks and you receive money through physical checks, which is also expensive in today's age with everybody working from home. The the two system approach is not really useful. So we suggest keeping transactions in one system. Now, once you create coursework and you have the ability to sell through one system, the second problem comes in. The second problem is how do you provision or how do you create a user with a specific course? So say John Doe goes to your website, purchase a course on digital learning in your membership system. Now, how does the learning management system know in real time that John Doe has purchased a course on digital learning? That's where integration between learning management system and Salesforce can come handy. That the the same transaction leads to enabling John Doe to log in Salesforce, and the same login will work in learning management system, but at the same time, staff does not need to allocate a new course. The course is allocated to John Doe in learning management system upon the successful payment collection in your membership system. So there are two or three levels of problem. You cannot solve just one problem of single sign-on to achieve that staff efficiencies in selling courses. Similarly, the third example is many organizations are currently conducting webinar. Everybody is either uh, conducting webinar through Zoom. They sell the rights for webinar to generate revenue, or it could be part of the membership benefit. But either way, the problem is same. When you can easily use Zoom webinar or GoToWebinar or Cisco webinar or Adobe webinar platforms to have your members register for it. The problem is much more difficult if you're selling the webinar, but if you are not, even then the data collection is a problem. So in ideal situation, your integration for such activity, let's call it activity and transaction, should happen in one place and should lead to the member or donor receiving authentication as well as receiving the credentials to participate without any staff participation, without any staff time.
You know, I think I was focusing a lot on saving the time on the staff, and I think you make a really great point about the data being consistent as well. If you're entering the same data in, if you're entering the same data in two different systems and one data entry is done correctly in one and incorrect in the other, there takes staff time to correct that, but also confusion on everyone's part, right? So once you've integrated it and if there's a sync between all of these databases, it seems like it's very much the smarter way to go in terms of not only saving staff time, but having correct data and improving that user experience. Let's continue with group purchases. I know that with a lot of LMSs out there that this sometimes can be a difficult thing to do. You have to do one registration at a time for one person at a time for a class. So if you've got one big organization that wants to send 10 people to class, it becomes very tedious. But I think you have a solution for us that you want to walk us through.
Thank you, Vinu. This is an example where most organizations, most associations are struggling, especially trade associations. It's common in professional associations, but trade associations where the companies or organizations are the members, it's very natural for a coordinator to come and purchase courses. Now they can purchase courses online. they can purchase 10, 15, 20, 100 courses, but how do you allocate that to 100 people? Staff savings are when you enable and outsource that work to the company or organization itself through the portal enhancement. And on the member portal on your website, if they have the ability to uh, directly add new contacts, in this example, as you see, the group purchase is available for the courses, and they can add uh, the coursework, and they can allocate contacts and courses assigned to them online. The members will be able to benefit. They will be able to manage their own list. So some organizations, some associations sell the content on Netflix model, where you have a certain duration and all the courses are available, while other organizations offer it on uh, uh, model where you charge course by course. When you charge course by course, the allocation of courses to members is a tedious work. I have even seen two people in different association. All they do every year is allocate courses to members upon purchases. That's a lot of time spent. That time itself could be a saving that can be utilized to improve content, improve those team members in the learning and professional development team can utilize their time to add value to content as opposed to data crunching.
Great. Let's move on to the last feature you wanted to talk to us about in terms of white label microsites. I believe that you were mentioning to me that sometimes this is not a feature that every LMS provides out there, that the LMS always has to have, there's the branding of that LMS. And there are organizations that really want to claim ownership, proprietorship over the content, and not only from content wise, but also from the branding perspective. Can you tell us a little bit about these white label microsites and how it's done?
Sure. Let's look at this particular microsite. It's a learning management system section within learning management system for an organization. And what is an example? Why do you need it? First of all, is that even needed? So most organizations have affiliates. These affiliates are either chapters, or these are your subdivisions, or otherwise other clients. Most trade associations even have companies as their client, but the concept is same. Within your learning management system, you have courses which are applicable to all of the companies or members. As well as you have courses which are specific to that um, specific chapter or association, subchapter, or a company that is your member. Now, how do you empower with the microsite so that in this example, PLS is able to sell their own courses along with the courses offered by the headquarter? That's the concept of white labeled microsites within LMS that allows you to make more money by empowering the affiliates and your member organizations and your customers to sell content. Sell content using a learning management system that you offer to them. So now you can charge for both content and learning management system and empower them to make it unique for their chapter. It is very common for chapters to have their own websites, but can you offer a learning management system that they can directly plug in their website and call it their own? And when they start to call it their own, they would have much tighter relationship, and the headquarter or main organization can really leverage the content that they prepared across the board without competing with the chapters, or without competing with the member organization. So take an example. If I create a course on, say, efficiency during pandemic, how do you improve the work culture, work from home. This is applicable to all. At the national level, you can create a course that anybody can brand in their own name and sell it within the uh, sub site or micro site, and that feature is available in many learning management system. MLEMO we know has it, but many others also offer. So it is useful to align it with your Salesforce and offer it as a service to the members.
Great. We've come to the end of this. So Rajiv, what I've learned from you today is that through the integration, you're breaking down silos. You're able to get real-time analytics. You can use those analytics to better curate your programs, to do better marketing, to better track how students are doing, or even how prospective students are reacting to certain courses. We've talked a lot about how single sign-on isn't the only solution when you bring them together. And then also ways to save time with group purchases and also automatic customer creation. So those are great. We do have some questions. If you guys have any questions, definitely put them here in the chat. We do have one question here. Is there a way to integrate Schoology, that's a mouthful, Schoology LMS with Salesforce?
I wouldn't know if Schoology really provide out of the box integration, but I do know that it is possible to integrate because Schoology does provide APIs. So they may not have, Schoology is really designed for K-12, and their first success was when they sold to the entire country's schools in Latin America to one country. So from there, they have developed in different aspects, but this tool LMS that I know of is best suited for K-12, and they do provide APIs. Your best bet is to get the APIs and then create a connected app within Salesforce that can bring data from Schoology into Salesforce. So I think answer is yes, it is feasible. I don't know if they have a ready-made solution, but a developer should be able to integrate LMS, your Schoology courses, as well as single sign-on and ability to get the right analytical data into Salesforce.
Right. We also have another question. I guess PowerSchool is the same as Schoology. Do you know any information about them and their integration?
I do not know about PowerSchool, the background, but we are very happy to get back to you after researching with PowerSchool if they provide APIs or standard Salesforce integration.
Okay. And I think the follow-up there was there is not a ready-made solution for Schoology. They have a basic API connection. So it can be done. It just made a little bit more extra work into it as opposed to just flipping a switch. So Rajiv, we've come to the end of our session here. Any words of wisdom that you'd like to share with our group today?
So somebody asked, do you have a recommendation for LMS with best integration with Salesforce? So my 2 cents around LMS with best integration. Best, as the saying goes, beauty is in the eyes of beholder. Without learning about what you need LMS for and what the integration should look like, it is not wise for us or anybody to say this LMS versus that LMS is better connected with Salesforce. I typically like to take an approach where I'm going to look at your needs, what data will make sense to bring back from a learning management system. What will be the user experience? Is it for individual users? Is it for companies? And then make the determination what Salesforce integration should look like. But it is recommended. This is what the research should start. If you have Salesforce and you are in the market to buy learning management system, instead of looking for learning management system, you should start by going to AppExchange. AppExchange has a bunch of learning management system listed, and maybe it's, for viewers' help, we know I can open AppExchange or you can open on your screen. Uh, should I open on?
I'll take care of it while you do the talking.
So learning management system, if you search on AppExchange, you will get a host of different learning management system. That's where you might want to start with. Since you have Salesforce as a system of records, it is must to ensure that your provider is listed on Salesforce learning management, Salesforce AppExchange, because that allows you uh, to confirm that it is securely integrated with Salesforce. That's the basic criteria. From there, now you can see if you need to find a learning management system that is better suited, and invite them all to uh, to get in a conversation which ones specifically address the member-based organization needs or continuing education, etc.
Great starting point.
The difficulty I have seen in some organizations that I have consulted, provided services around selection or their whole integration projects that we have worked on. They have bought the learning management system without validation that does it integrate, because every learning management system says that they are integrated with Salesforce. But how do I validate that? Is it comprehensive? Is it secured? Is it vetted by Salesforce? So my general thumb rule is, if a learning management system is not listed on the Salesforce AppExchange, I generally just give them a rating of 0 out of 10 in integration when I talk to that learning management system, because Salesforce has not validated. B, I do not know if it is integrated, will it be secure or not? And that is one way to eliminate or shortlist your potential learning management system options. Uh, Once you have determined that this specific learning management system is listed on Salesforce AppExchange, then your discussion should be around, do they cater to the use cases that you offer? Do they have the sufficient features that you would like to invite them and provide your service? Or if you have a specific need, do they cater to it?
And actually, we have, after this webinar, we're in the process of launching a series around LMS, and that will take you through your journey, starting with how to select an LMS that can integrate with Salesforce, to integrating into management after you've kicked off the integration. So definitely we'll make sure that you get invitation to that webinar and those resources as well. So that's coming soon. We covered a lot today. If you'd like to hear more or have a specific use case you want to talk about, you can contact us anytime. I'll leave, you've got our contact information in this presentation, as well as in the emails that we've sent you. There's a lot of cool stuff available to you when you integrate your LMS with Salesforce. At Applesify, we know that you may not have the time to figure it all out. That's what we're here for, to help you make the most out of your Salesforce and LMS ecosystem. Along the way, we hope that we can save you some time and stress. Hope you join us for our next webinar on Defend Against Data Phishing. And if not that one, definitely keep up with our webinar schedules and for our next LMS series. Rajiv, thank you so much for today. And everyone else, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Vinu. And I do want to share, if anybody likes to pick up our knowledge on their specific case, we are available. And generally on my calendar, if 1 hour is available, you can always book a slot and we can talk about specific needs that you may have and that we have not covered in this conversation today. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.